you're a business professional feeling stretched thin between work and life, you've probably wondered, can I have more freedom without sacrificing financial security? Today, we'll explore how financial planning can make a hybrid work week a reality, giving you the flexibility you deserve. Welcome to My Hybrid Retirement Weekly. Let's dive in.
Welcome to My Hybrid Retirement Weekly, your go-to broadcast for redefining your retirement by blending meaningful work, more freedom, and long-term financial clarity. Broadcasts are hosted by Rob Leiphart, a fiduciary advisor with 20 plus years of experience who has a deep focus on work-life balance and a proven track record of guiding people toward financial independence. Join Rob every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern to hear actionable ideas to help you work less, maximize your income, and build more freedom into your life. Subscribe now at My Hybrid Retirement Weekly to take the next step toward a life you don't need a vacation from.
Hi, everyone. Rob Leiphart here, helping you maximize your time and financial freedom. This week on My Hybrid Retirement Weekly, we're diving into the hybrid work week and how smart financial planning makes it possible. I'll share actionable steps to help you gain flexibility while staying on track for long-term goals. Quick question. If you could design your ideal work week, what would it look like? More time at home? A 4-day work week? Maybe extra travel? If you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, comment below. Work-life balance can feel like a myth. The 40-plus hour work week leaves little time for family, personal passions, or even catching your breath. You work hard, but are you enjoying the fruits of your labor?
This work-life harmony thing is what I try to teach young employees, actually, and senior executives at Amazon too, but especially the people come in. We're asked about work-life balance all the time. And my view is that's a debilitating phrase because it implies there's a strict trade-off. And the reality is if I'm happy at home, I come into the office with tremendous energy. And if I'm happy at work, I come home with tremendous energy. And so it actually is a circle. It's not a balance. And I think that is worth everybody paying attention to. You never want to be that guy. And we all have a coworker who is that person who, as soon as they come into the meeting, they drain all of the energy out of the room. You can just feel the energy level go.
Without a clear financial plan, the hybrid work week often stays just that, a dream. Planned expenses, uncertainty about income, and lack of strategy make the idea feel risky. So how do we make financial flexibility financially sustainable?
Organizations have to make tough decisions, and there could be some situations where being in an office for a highly collaborative role is critically important to the success of the team. We know in-person time matters. When we look at our engagement data, we know that an optimal balance is more like 2 to 3 days a week for remote capable positions, being in an office, because we know that there are benefits to remote work that we all experienced, certainly referenced in the segment before about the commute time, the impact to the family, my own well-being benefiting. So there are some key factors to remote work. When we can do our job at home, there are some benefits. But in totality, for an organization, we do know that teams are more productive. Engagement is higher when we find an optimal balance of about 2 to 3 days per week.
A hybrid work week is possible, but it requires a strategy. You don't need to sacrifice financial security. You just need a plan that aligns your money with your goals. Here are 5 steps for success. Clarify your priorities. What does a 4-day work week mean for you? More time with your family? Pursuing passions? Define your vision. 2, optimize your finances. Reduce financial clutter. Automate savings, consolidate accounts, and cut out unnecessary expenses. 3, align investments for flexibility. Shift from passive accumulation to purposeful investing. Think income-generating assets like dividends. 4, build a safety net. A 6-month emergency fund ensures a smooth transition. 5, negotiate flexibility. Employers are often open to flexible schedules if it benefits productivity.
4-day workweek trial in Britain just ended.
It was a 6-month trial with nearly 3,000 participants.
Workers said it helped with their sleep, personal lives, and mental health.
By the end of the trial, 39% of participants had less stress and 71% had reduced levels of burnout. Of the 61 companies that participated, 56 said they would continue to implement the 4-day workweek.
Imagine waking up on Friday morning with no work meetings, just time to be present with your family or focus on what excites you. That's the power of aligning your finances with life goals. Case in point, one of my clients, a salesperson for a paper mill, transitioned to a hybrid work week by optimizing their investments and using portfolio-generated income strategies to fill their income gaps. Within a year, they reported feeling more focused at work and more present at home.
I don't want to lay people off because we still have a great company to run. So we're going to do a 20% furlough, but I'm only going to ask you to work 4 days a week. So there's a quid pro quo there. And people loved that, right? Especially as the world started to open back up. And so as the world started to open back up and we kind of lapped a year, I said, look, you know what we're going to do? It seems like we've been able to get everything done we've ever wanted to get done on 4 days. So I'm going to take the salaries back to your full-time salaries, but we're going to keep a 4-day work week. I deeply, deeply, deeply believe that happy, well-rested employees are highly productive and highly insightful. So that's the way we run the business today, and I feel like it's working.
All right, let's dive into some common questions about making a 4-day work week a reality. And if you have questions of your own, drop it in the chat if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook. First, let me go to my producer and see if we have some questions.
Hey, Rob. Jay Brennan is asking, how do I know if a hybrid work week is even possible for me?
Well, thank you. That's a great place to start. The first step, run a quick financial check. What would your budget look like if you worked 1 day less per week? Try a test month. Adjust your spending as if you already have that schedule. If things seem tight, that's your cue to optimize expenses or build extra income streams. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, let's do Gen Z 2025 asking, won't working less mean making less money?
Well, thanks for the question, Gen Z. Not necessarily. A lot of professionals negotiate a compressed schedule, same salary, just fewer days in the office. Others pick up consulting, maybe freelance work, or just use investments like dividends or some income strategies to replace that lost income. The key is making sure your plan supports your long-term financial security while giving you the flexibility that you want. Do we have any additional questions?
Yeah, let's do, I like the user handle, working hard 40/40. What's the biggest mistake people make when trying to go hybrid?
Well, thanks, working hard 40/40. The biggest mistake actually is jumping in just without a financial cushion. If you're relying on every paycheck, even a small income dip can feel overwhelming. A six-month emergency fund gives you the confidence to explore a new schedule without second-guessing your decision. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest question or transitioning to a hybrid work week? Drop it in the chat and I'll answer some live or cover them in a future episode. To recap, here's how you can start planning your 4-day work week. Clarify your priorities. Streamline your finances. Align your investments with flexibility in your goals. 4, build a safety net and negotiate for flexibility. Now it's your turn. What's one step you can take this week to move forward towards a hybrid work week? Need guidance? Let's schedule a discovery call and build a plan tailored to your goals. Click on the link below to get started. Financial planning isn't just about numbers. It's about creating the life you want. If a 4-day work week sounds like the balance you've been craving, take the first step today. And I'll see you next time on My Hybrid Retirement Weekly.
What?